We just got software update 2020.48.30. Before we get into that, though, I want to remind everybody that down below here we do have chapters for most of our videos, as well as captions, because I know that my accent and rate of speech are kind of difficult, and also that the videos that I make tend to be on the longer side, so if you want to just look for a particular part, then I've got them all time-stamped out for you. And if you're on your phone or computer, there are little gaps. If you're on your TV, then they've got the actual times. When you click on them, they'll go right to that part of the video. I want to thank our patrons, Jason B. and Fred B. And then I also want to introduce channel membership button. It's down there by the subscribe button. It'll say join. What that is, it's very similar to our Patreon, where you can help support the channel directly here on YouTube, and every little bit helps. And eventually, we might do some levels and stuff with it, but right now, it's just whatever you feel like doing with the channel. So let's get into today's update, and we'll go from there. So you can see that we are looking at bug fixes. But Green the Only has said that they've started migrating from October the self-driving and everything to neural nets. The point here wasn't to suggest that Green was wrong or that we would see any differences in behavior, merely to acknowledge that Green had seen and documented changes in the code, which could inform anything that we might see in the future or that we had recently seen on previous builds. So we're going to go and test out, as we always do. We're going to test out the flashing yellow lights. We're going to see how the navigating autopilot feels, how regular autopilot feels, and then if you guys have anything that you want me to test, write down a comment below, and I'll try and test it. If it's a one-off, just tweet at me or message me before you see that I am going to start, and I'll try to get it in there. And if it's something that you want to see every time to see how it improves, leave a comment down below on one of these videos, and I'll see if it's something that I can do reliably, repeatedly. And let's get started. Catch you on the flip side. I've got 2 points from the previous update, the holiday update 2020.48.26. Some folks had asked if the Santa mode was any different for this year, and it is. We get the same interface view as the Model 3. So we get a little red Model 3 with no roof, with Santa inside, and some reindeer attached to it. It's rather than the reindeer being the cars going down the road as they used to be. And you don't get any music. Apparently you get some Tiny Desk concerts because the computer rebooted. But you don't get any music when it kicks over, and you also don't get the sleigh bells as the turn signals go. And then our supercharging cap had been removed. It was previously capped at 110 kilowatts after our successful first version 3 supercharge at 174 kilowatts. And we took it up on a trip after the last deep dive video and went to a V3 supercharger from 18% to 86 or 87%. And we peaked at 169 kilowatts. I've got a picture of where it was able to pull 163 or so, because I didn't realize how quickly it was going to go through and didn't have the camera ready in time. So there's a picture of it doing slightly lower than peak. And let's get started. Catch you on the flip side. Part of the reason for not having already started our trip is the car said it couldn't find the key, so I rebooted it. The key was definitely working, because during the reboot, I double-tapped the roof, and it honked to lock as if it was locking the car. So here we go. Okay, we're about to test the flashing yellow lights. We've got somebody behind us, but that's their problem. Here we go. We've got cruise control on at 45. Auto steer. It sees the flashing lights down at the interface. Oh, we got our squeaky seat going on. And acknowledge. And it goes through. Acknowledge again. Acknowledge. Okay, it's not doing great, but it has been worse. All right, let's whip the UE and see what's next. Grab a U-turn. Ooh, little manhole cover. All right, let's bump this up. Flashing lights, acknowledged, 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 nothing. All right, so it's... Oh my goodness. Anyway, we've got clear evidence that that cowbell still works, but the whole point of all of that was that the flashing yellow lights have continued to have a bit of a regression. In the daylight, at least, it did work one time, sort of. I had to keep pushing it on through. And on the second time, it didn't care that I was pushing on all those buttons. It's like, yeah, here's some Rainbow Road for you, son. So we're about to get on the highway. We're going to go south on 95 this time, and we'll see how Navigate on Autopilot performs. And if we have time before recording the Tesla Life and What Drives Us shows, we will try that turn that is not advertised. Let's see how it does on a tight turn while we're here. Okay. The speed limits are interesting, 35 and a 45 it says. It's not steering too sharply. It's not having trouble with it. Well, I say it's not having trouble. It's not gyrating wildly. It's obviously having concerns about the tightness of the turn. All right, the speed's gone up, thankfully. Let's see if it goes to the real speed here. All right, nobody trying to run us over. All right, it sees the real speed, and it's not doing it. It also didn't choose to merge. But that wasn't wrong. There was no traffic coming. All right, I'm going to tell it to go to the set speed. And it did. All right, we're going to pass this rest station. No cross traffic to contend with. We kind of do want some traffic so we can see how if they've improved anything with the neural nets. Basically what Green was saying, I'll put a copy of the tweet. He said that they used to be on C++ and now they're on neural nets, which basically means instead of coding in the rules by hand, they are now deducing it from their training. Another late merge, but again, it was safe, so it's fine. All right, I will let you know if we notice anything with the Navigate on Autopilot behaviors. Okay, it's slowing down. All right, oh, that's perfect. It's requesting to pass the slow person. I apply extra pressure to the wheel and it changes lanes. What fortuitous timing. All right, we're not going, well, we are going far. We've got 10 more miles to go. So we'll catch you the next time that something interesting happens, even if it's us recapping it. Resistance to passing on the right has returned, but it is not immune to it. These people just slammed on the brakes for nothing, and so the car said, I'm getting out of this, after it avoided rear-ending the sudden stop. It doesn't appear to want extra distance to take an exit. We're sitting at 2.3 miles, and it's only requested the center lane. It hasn't requested us to get in the exit lane just yet. I think this will be a 1.3 mile request based on previous behaviors. All right, at 1.3 miles, 1.4 miles, it has requested my attention that it's going to be making a turn soon. So, yeah, that was right. And there we go. At 1.1 miles, it is getting into the lane behind slower traffic. But it didn't immediately go behind all the slow traffic when it thought about wanting to change lanes. So that's a plus. And let's see how it takes the exit. Okay, it says it's going to make the next maneuver for us. Very similar to that other exit. Okay, it did make the maneuver. And now it should drop out. The question is, will it pick the right lane? Oh, look at that, it picked the right lane as it quit. Perfect. It's a yield. Will it yield correctly? Maybe. It thinks it's done, so I acknowledge. There we go. Based on how the car handled this particular compound exit and routing, and the fact that as we were approaching the other turn, the one that we normally do this test on, we got passed by a platoon of state troopers. We were doing about 75 miles an hour, and they passed us like we were standing still, so they were doing at least 100. There were 2 marked and 1 unmarked vehicle, and it still had the little antenna, so I don't want to say it was undercover, it just wasn't marked. And so they were headed towards the Capitol, and we had just seen all of the news filtering through on all of our alerts. So at that point, we opted to end the testing there and to go back home rather than to go on to that particular turn to do testing. All right, we're going to try Come to Me Summon. All right, it didn't fail right away, but it's not doing anything. It's cold, car. Come on. Try again. Much better. Ooh, don't scratch your wheels. She wants to make sure she didn't hit anything in the front. Okay. Sticking to the right side of the roads, at least until it gets to us. Or maybe even the whole time. At least till it got to us, it stuck to the right side of the road. You're done, stop. You don't need to park. What are you wooing for?
Scaring me.
What are you scared for?
Why you come back?
All right. I'm going to have to stop this music. Plug in the phone. Select summon. Select smart summon. And we'll just go forward a little bit to there. Hey, Model X. Someone interrupted, it says. The doors are closed. Try again. All right, so summon to target isn't working for whatever reason. Let's try to go to the edge here. What? Seriously? This is the worst demo ever. Well, it could be worse. Like that Volvo one. I don't know. All right, so smart summon to target is not working for us today. We will try somewhere else, and then... Actually, let's just try back where she came from. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so maybe it's just something about that spot. Wow. That was something else. I do kind of like how it vibrates as it changes directions, but this is some wild behavior. All right, you done? You're done. Fine, whatever. All right, so summon works. And we'll give it that. We're going to go back home and give you a conclusion. We'll catch you on the flip side. Someone asked if we could see the wheels on the car's avatar spinning? The answer is yes, we can. It's got silver 22s. Despite the fact that the car is rocking Sonic Carbon 20s, it's a lot harder to see because we can't control where our avatar is. So I have to kind of basically slow down and make a hard right turn, or left turn even. But I need to make a right, so let's do that. A right and a left. So let's slow down and see if it shows us anything. Okay, it was still too far out for that one. Oh, now it's looking at my hand. All right, let's take a left. Somebody behind me, so it wasn't really quite enough that you could see it. But take my word for it. It's rocking silver 22s and a black interior, despite the fact that we've got a white interior. So far on this deep dive, this particular update, 2020.48.30, has been solid. Didn't notice too many changes. The Navigate on Autopilot is a lot more willing to make a pass, even with an exit coming up, which is nice because sometimes you need it in traffic jams. So kudos for that. Other than that, I didn't notice anything that stood out. It still has its aggressive lane centering, so as you pass on-ramps, it will fill them, and everything else seems unchanged. So we'll catch you on the flip side. Over here are some videos that YouTube thinks you'll enjoy, and down here is a subscription bubble.